woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Real women, real issues, real conversations.
Hello, everyone. As soon as I get my tech life together, we got this. Hello. Hi. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Wherever you are, come on in the room. As the saints used to say back in the day, come on in the room. Happy Monday, everyone. Wherever you are, come on in and join us. I'm super excited to be here tonight. It's been a while since we've been together, and I hope it's been so long. I hope everyone remembers that we're still on. So, but I sent out some text messages and waiting for the folks to join us. Happy Monday. Listen, where you at? Happy summer. Did we not just go directly from winter again to summer? God help us all. Father, bless the children. Lord have mercy. It hurt my heart to turn air on, and it's not even the end of June. This is just disrespectful. It's wrong. It's disrespectful, and I'm over it. I told my guest this afternoon, I'm like, do I need to change my hair? I got my short hair on today. It is hot. It is hot, but it's been, a good day. Welcome, everyone. Please put in the chat wherever you are. Let me know where you're watching us from, whether you're in the Midwest, whether you're down south, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. Just throw it in the chat. Welcome to another episode of Woman to Woman. And for those of you who don't know me, I am Lady Bree, your host. I am super excited to be with you this evening. It has been a few weeks. The last episode we did was in celebration of Mother's Day. And we've taken some time to really do some things here. They've upgraded a bit of equipment and, so the stream will be a little better. Hopefully the next time you see me, this back here will look different too. I'm working on some things. So we're just upgrading and taking things to the next level because we're just trying to, just do better. I always believe once you get to one place, you never stop. You just keep on going. So we're going to keep on going. Again, I'm mad excited about tonight. And this is June. So around here, I know on the calendar it says Friday. Is it Friday? Friday's June 19th. But for us, I've decided that June is Freedom Month. We celebrate freedom all month. And if you are of a certain hue, you celebrate freedom all year. Because every time we turn around and every time we wake up, we are of the same hue, we are the same people, and of the same culture. So, hello, Nashville. I see you. Hey, girl. Hey, thank you for joining us. So welcome to Freedom Month. It aligned that we're doing it, leading us into the now federal holiday. Thank you, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, for Juneteenth being a federal holiday. So as you come to the end of the week, I hope you are off. And if you are, I hope you find a way just to celebrate being us. So anyway, tonight, I guess I had a vision of doing something different. And, we could have done the traditional things like we do on Black History and we highlight certain people. But I wanted to do a little different. I wanted to do something different and put a different spin on it. And this is a show for women by women, right? So before we get into that, before I bring on my guest, before I give you a little bit more about what tonight's show is, what we're going to be discussing. Let's see. I think I want to start off with a little icebreaker. So since we're in this Juneteenth mode and we're celebrating all things black, we're celebrating being free, even though they're trying to take that from us too once again. I'm gonna do this. Let me ask the question for all the women that are listening. If it's one historical black woman that's no longer with us, or even she could still be with us, that you can sit down on the porch or over coffee or over tea or whatever your beverage of choice is. I'm not here to judge. Who would that be? What famous woman, what famous black woman would you choose? She doesn't have to be deceased. She could still be alive. But what famous, well-known black woman would you choose to sit down, have coffee with, have a conversation with, ask some questions? I already have my answer, so I know. If any, just put it in the chat. Tell me what famous black woman, what sister, what trailblazer would you love to just sit and chat with? Who you got? I'm gonna give you mine. I'm gonna give you mine. I had the privilege of meeting this woman, but it wasn't a real conversation because it was at a time when she was doing an event. And I had the honor of meeting Oprah Winfrey. But again, it wasn't to where I could just sit and say, Oprah, hey girl, hey. Can I talk to you for a minute? Can we talk for a minute? Nope, I didn't get that opportunity. But that's my person. Oprah would be my person. Let's see, who else would I choose? I think I would like to talk to Coretta. Yes, because she was just such an amazing woman, and she was just such a lady. And, just to sit down and speak to her, mainly, I think maybe the conversation I would have would be with her after Dr. King was assassinated because of all the work she went on to do in his honor. That's just who I would choose. I have a whole list, but if I keep talking, I'm going to take all the women. So, but just think about that for a second, and we'll circle back before we end the show tonight. If you could sit down and have a conversation with any famous black woman in history, who would that be? Yeah, hold on to it for a second. All right, y'all. So I am going to move forward because we started a little late and it's my fault, but don't worry about that. Me and my tech life over here is always an issue. But again, we're excited about tonight's show. We're excited about tonight's conversation. And I have invited two phenomenal women to join me this evening to sit down and to have a conversation, because as we celebrate Juneteenth, as we celebrate, I guess Juneteenth is really an extension of Black History Month, right? That's what they're giving us anyway. But as we collectively come together as a people just to celebrate who we are. And like I said, I wanted to put a different spin on it this evening, and who I talk to and what the conversation would be centered about. And while we know this platform is for all women, but all we can, and I know all I can speak to is from my truth, and that's as a Black woman. I can only speak to that experience. And it's, my life is rooted, of course, in this experience, and the importance of just being a Black mom in this country. Again, we can only speak to who we know, who we are, what we've lived. And when you think of, I have to say everything, when you think of everything that occurs, right? Everything that's been invented, everything that has been instituted, from things that were invented years ago to things that were invented recently, down from uh, um, galvanizing voters and getting us to the polls. The backbone of this country, whether they want to admit it or not, is the Black woman. And most of these Black women are Black mothers who go on to raise Black children to do and carry on the same legacy. And so tonight, we raise sons, we raise daughters, and we do this in a world that doesn't appreciate their value, because our value is not always appreciated. And as we know, in the last year, and the last time I checked, that number was upwards of 600,000 Black women are now out of work. And it's all because of what they perceive to be the benefit from DEI, which is not true, right? We also know that Black women are the most educated in this country, and that's not our fault. What we were taught was to always excel. So these are things that were instilled in us by our Black mothers, right? So we're victimized and we're vilified because we always achieve to do better. Under the most strenuous circumstances, we manage to achieve these things. So tonight, our conversation will be with two women that I admire, two women whose journey is different, but experiences are shared. And you'll get to understand that a bit more in a minute. So I got my sister here. I got two sisters. One from New York, where I am, and another one, I had to go out to the Midwest, child. Out there where it's hot, for real. And I went all the way to Nashville. So if y'all could do me a favor and help me welcome my two sisters to the stage. First and foremost, my girl from the Midwest, from what they call that, bluegrass country. I think it is. I love Nashville, by the way. From bluegrass country, none other than Lady Tyliesha Smith. Come on, girl, come to the stage. Turn your camera on. I gotta add you to this.
Hey,
He was having tech issues. I saw the whole
the
thing.
bluegrass country, huh? That's what they call. I thought it was
Bluegrass?
Music City. Oh, that's Memphis. Who knows? This is
It's
not
all
my
the
original
things.
state. It's not my
No.
original state, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
know.
here.
We like you said, you're an imposter. Anyway.
Transplant.
Transplant. Oh, that's what they call them. Transplant.
This woman is
Yes.
called me
Transplant.
imposter.
We know plenty of we got imposters here in New York, but that's a different story.
My Lord.
So anyway, now we got all these little Nick fans. Well, whatever. That includes me. All right, so let me bring up my Brooklyn gal, my girl. I think she's from Brooklyn, but she over there in the Queens, the Queens Highway. She's currently living in Queens. Come on, Lady Shantavia, where are you? Come on, girl. Open the camera. Open the mic.
Hello, everybody.
All right.
Hello.
Wait, let me get my little sound effects. You see, they was playing me earlier, ladies. Hold on. Can y'all hear my applause? Did my applause come on? Hold on.
Lord.
Okay, thank y'all so much. Listen, I got sound effects. So don't play me. And I'm running my own tech tonight, so definitely don't play me. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sitting down and talking to me. Before I get any further, Shantavia, we have to say it. Let's go, Knicks.
Oh
Knicks.
my God.
Yeah.
No.
We did it.
Let's go, Nick.
I give it to y'all. 53 years. You came a long way. That's proof that God is still faithful.
Okay, and Nashville, what you do?
I'm not. I'm a Golden State Warriors fan. I'm from Oakland, California originally. Don't.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see y'all. I didn't see y'all.
It's okay. Next year y'all won't have another one. You won't have another one.
All right, listen.
Once in a lifetime.
Full disclosure: I am not a Knicks fan. I'm just
okay.
I'm just going to toe the party line. Oh, I'm a New Yorker. Okay. I
Okay.
just got tired of being disappointed. I'm a Lakers fan. Well,
Oh,
so
bless your soul. You
yeah,
can't.
bless my life. Don't hate, don't hate, don't hate.
We
Just
sisters
let
in
it all.
Christ. That's all I can say.
Just let it go. Just
I'm
let
a
it go.
non-fan. I don't even know. I just was excited about
LeBron
the
James
Knicks.
all the way. Sorry. No, I
Oh,
don't want to hear it.
bless her, God.
Next year, next year, we got you. All right. So now that we got the business taken care of, the
Right.
important stuff out the way, we just have to shout out the Knicks one more time. All right. So again, y'all, I invited these two young ladies to join me this evening. And I wanted to come from the perspective of uh, being a Black mother
Mm,
in these United States of America, as we really attempt to celebrate freedom.
mm,
In this current political climate, we know again, the stats are given upwards of over 600,000 Black women are out of work right now because of
yeah.
diversity, equity, and inclusion. Tyliesha, we know where you are. Gerrymandering is a thing,
Yes.
and they've gotten the attempt is to get rid of some of your congressional representation.
Absolutely.
Thankfully, Shantavia and I are in a blue state, so it's
Mm,
it won't happen here. Not they're not trying. So we are facing all of these challenges as we. I don't know. It just seems as though that we're trying to raise our children, or we're trying to continue to nurture grandchildren in this climate, and to where these are things that our parents went through. These are things that our grandparents went
right.
through. My grandmother came to New York as a live-in, and she cleaned floors and potty trained, others, children. So I wouldn't have to. So her daughter wouldn't have to, right? So her
Mm,
son wouldn't have to. And then we in turn do the same thing, right? We know we haven't fully overcome, but we ain't always, all the way back at the bridge either. But they're trying
yeah.
to, so I can't even imagine, really, because both of you, Shantavia, your children are younger than Tyliesha's. And,
Yes.
and Tyliesha says she has two sets of kids, right? Yes, she has, that first set, and then that, I always call them the do-over set, where you learn a
The
couple of
do.
things.
Thank you, my Lord.
And so, well, I can do this a little differently,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that do-over set. And Tyliesha is a single mom, and Shantavia is a stay-at-home mom. All right. So there's your contrast. Like I said, it's different, but the experiences that are shared are very, very similar. So let's start with this question, because I told you I didn't know which one I was gonna start with. And I don't know. Shantavia said we ain't gonna go too hard and deep on this. Oh, in full disclosure, the stay-at-home mom's backup is not home from work yet. So
Oh no, he's here. He just made it.
oh,
That's what's
thank
bothering me.
see.
You don't see me
Praise
making
God.
faces over here. He's bothering me.
Oh, okay, yes, that's what he does. That's what he
He's
does. Her
bothering
husband is
me.
a hot mess. Greatest dude you ever lived. Okay, let's do this, Tyliesha,
Mm,
and Tay, just hang on in the background.
All right.
This is a good one. Before we get into the nitty gritty of all the things, let's bust some myths. Tyliesha and Shantavia, but Ty, I want you to answer first. What's something people assume about your life that's not true?
that I got financial support from the other half.
Mm.
This
Wait,
all
I
me.
think
Me and Jesus.
I told you
Come
I
on
didn't want
here.
I've
no.
Come on
never
here.
I've never received a child support check ever. And
Okay.
and, and I've never got cash aid or food stamps by the grace of God.
Mm.
He's always been, I know this is not a Christian show, but he's been a keeper.
Yeah.
So my hard work, and I teach my daughters that. My grandmother used to say, slow feet don't eat.
That's a good one. Slow feet
So
don't eat.
slow feet don't eat. You always gotta be in motion. I gotta get up early in the morning. I gotta get it. My kids have to eat. I wanted my daughters to see an example of a woman in motion, not waiting on a check to come every month. So
That's
some
good.
people assume because I have children that the father is paying child support. No,
Yeah.
everything you see come from mama
Yeah.
with the help of God.
Tavia, I'm gonna let you answer that question, and then Tyliesha, I'm gonna double back. All right, so you're married, stay at home mom, right? Okay. What's something people assume about your life that's not true?
I would say that we got it all together. You know, like they think that we don't have hard times, or they're that we always we're always good. But there are times where things are not as great. If I could be a little transparent, there's sometimes we are very low, and people might not know. But by the grace of God, of course, and my husband is a very good provider. He will figure it out, and he will find a way. And so that's a good thing about that's a good
And
thing.
he's more of a distraction than the kids. I need y'all to understand what's happening. He walked in and the kids were giving her less grief. Go ahead, finish your thought. Brad, go sit down
But
somewhere.
like I said, he's a great provider. But I will say I am very blessed to have a village that they might not know, and I might not say what I'm going through or what's going on, but they will come in the nick of time, and they'll be like, "Oh, I got you with this, so I can help you with this." So it's a good thing to have a village, and also I have a great husband who is a great provider and will make a way. So sometimes people assume that it's all, everything is all good and I got it all together, and I'm quote unquote rich.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that.
And see, Todd, this is what I wanted to double back on, because in our community, we don't assume that you getting a check from the from the
Some folks do. Some folks do.
It's amazing. But most of us, I know I was raised by a single parent. Okay, who was raised by a single parent. Now my grandmother's parents were together because it was also a different era. She was born in the 20s, right? So that's a different thing. But as we move through the generations, right, the odds of us being raised by a single parent, I didn't get child support either.
Oh yeah, they automatically.
Wow.
Well, they see my kids living a lifestyle, and they just automatically assume that I'm not providing it on my own.
Right.
That's another thing right there.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
They automatically assume that I was in a grocery store one time, and two carts full of groceries in Costco, and a lady, non-melanated, was behind me and was like, "It must be nice to have an EBT card." And I said, God forgive me. I don't get an allowance. My husband don't give me an allowance like you and the mistress get.
And that part.
So,
when you clap, you gotta clap back. I'm sorry.
This is a cash. This is a cash pay. This is $852 worth of groceries because I have to feed 4 people in my house. And people assume that because they see that, and it bothers me when they see women of color. You automatically assume that we're not able to provide.
Right.
That we need assistance to provide.
Right.
You said something earlier about a woman in history who you would want to speak to. Mine would be Harriet Tubman because she made it happen.
Who's yours? I love. Listen, Miss Harriet kept her piece on her.
Man, look,
she went through the woods. But come on, yeah, let's go.
Look, you gonna move?
Let's go. You gonna get us all killed?
Left behind? Here. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I love me some Miss Harriet. Okay. Here's a good one. So let's talk about this. And I let me just say I've been in both positions, right? I've been the stay-at-home mom, and I've been, of course, the single mother. That's how that's the latter days. So I want to ask you this part. What's the part of your role, the part of it that feels invisible? I'm gonna let Shantavia take this one first. What's the part of being that stay-at-home mom that feels invisible?
Mm. Um, I guess sometimes seeing everything that you do, right?
Mm.
I I will say like being a stay-at-home mom is not easy. It's something, that people think, oh, you home, you get to chill and relax, and not all the time it's like that, And I will say, I was a stay-at-home mom with my first daughter, but I wasn't really. I was still working because it was still
Mm.
COVID. So, but this time is a little different for me because I'm not working at all, and I'm
Mm.
actually like hands-on with my son. But it sometimes it gets a little difficult because everybody's at your friends is at work, and yeah, they might be stressed out at work, but you're just lonely. Sometimes it gets very, very lonely because you're by yourself, most of the time, even though
Mm.
you're with your kid. But my kid
Yeah.
can't talk. He can't talk the same stuff that I want to talk about. But he
You're not,
might act
you're not
like
having an adult
he,
conversation?
he might act
Nope.
like he could hold an adult conversation, but
Right.
he can't really hold no adult conversation.
Right.
But sometimes I think like the little things, like sometimes I think those things might go unnoticed, and I think it's not that it's going unnoticed, but I don't think they do it on purpose. I think it's because everybody's living a busy life. Especially when you're a stay at home mom, and then you have one person that is providing. They're
Hmm.
dealing with their own stress and trying to figure out how to make ways and how to provide and how to keep things going where we are just living above the water. But sometimes you can become invisible. Sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes it seems like
Hmm.
but like I said, I've learned to realize that this was something that God, with the grace of God, I was able to be a great stay at home mom. I would
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and it's hard sometimes because you're dealing with the different scheduling. Got to pick up your daughter, then I got to pick up my daughter. I have to get my son nap time at a certain time, so then I can go pick her up for your dismissal. Then when you
Hmm.
pick her up, you got
Hmm.
do doctor's appointments, and then I take care of all the bills, and I make sure the bills are paid. I do
Right.
this, so you're like
Right.
constantly, constantly, constantly going, and sometimes you lose yourself a little bit.
Yes.
Hmm.
Sometimes you do lose yourself, and you trying to figure out, well, what are you going to do for you? You're just
Hmm.
constantly doing for everybody. Like I said, I'm a wife too, so I'm trying to make sure my husband is good. I make sure my kids is good. I'm making sure the household is good. And then
Hmm.
sometimes you also, I will say, sometimes you also get a little defeated, and you also feel like you haven't done enough because you're just constantly,
Mm.
constantly you're doing. You're just constantly doing, constantly doing. Like you can clean up. I could clean up my living room 10 times with kids. And I just feel like I just cleaned up this living room, and
Yeah.
then yeah, just messed it up again. But I will say, yeah, I would definitely say, it feels like sometimes you're not appreciated, but
Mm.
North
Yeah.
Carolina said you work more and harder at home.
yeah, yeah,
You
Mm. You
do.
do. You do.
You
I
do.
believe you do. You might not get a paycheck,
Oh
but
yeah.
I
Right.
believe, I do
Right.
believe it is you because a stay at home mom job is not like a 9 to 5 job. A stay at home mom job is 24/7. So when the
Right.
kid wakes up at 12 o'clock in the morning, you got to be the one to wake up at 12 o'clock in the morning because he got to go sleep so he can go work tomorrow the
Hmm.
next day. So
Hmm.
sometimes it gets hard and it gets a little difficult, but like I said, by the grace of God, I have been able to keep going.
Ty, how do
Mm.
you, as you're doing, living this single provider, stellar life, making it look easy
Ooh, baby, no.
for
These
for
kids make it
for the
easy.
non-melanated people in the supermarket?
These
Um,
kids make it easy.
yeah. What's the part of that role that feels invisible sometimes?
Um, for me, it's the appreciation, you know, because we do life every day and we roll in and out and in and out and in and out. And, I didn't feel like I was being appreciated sometimes because my
Mm-hmm.
daughters are, like I said, they're accustomed to a lifestyle. So it was like their expectation was, I know she gonna do it. I know it's gonna get done. Um, and, I was feeling invisible.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
feeling like a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just paying the bills. Like I felt like I was living with a man who didn't love me, but they was my kids. You know, you just the
Yes.
money rolling in, the money, long as the money rolling in. And, you know, I felt that way. That was my feeling. That was not what my children were projecting onto me. But, you
Right.
know, when you start getting into a routine, it became
Mm-hmm.
routine and I had to stop doing routine. I had to start taking time out for me. I had to put nail shop Saturdays back in there. I had to put self-care days back in there. I made it a rule where you got to give me 15 minutes by myself when I come in this house before you speak to me, so I can gather my thoughts and collect myself so I can have an emotional present conversation with you,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, because with my older set, I was young, running, you know, and it wasn't that. So when God blessed me with a second set, I said I wanted to be a more present parent. I wanted to be able to have that open door conversation with my daughters where we can talk about anything. So for that, I felt non appreciated. And I tell you, your children, I would say this: your children watch everything you do.
Yes.
And it wasn't until my oldest came to me and said, "Mommy, you know, we appreciate you.
Mm.
Like we see you get up every day after day after day. You could have laid down. You didn't have to get up. You could have just threw in the towel,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
we thank you for keep going." And those are the things that let me know, okay, you're doing the right thing. But sometimes as a mom, single, stay at home, you sometimes you feel invisible.
I
You
think
don't feel appreciated.
the standard, let's take it to this, because we know the standard for Black women in particular is set so much higher,
Yes.
unnaturally so. And then some of it, a lot of it, of course, is cultural. A lot of it is what we were taught. I remember my mother saying, and I'm sure you've heard this, where they're doing 100%,
You got to do.
you
Yes,
have to do
ma'am.
200%. So you have to work double time for what
Mm-hmm.
they're doing. And then, and a lot of times, I think because we show up like that, we show up with that spirit of excellence. We show up
Yes.
taking on. We don't say no to anything, whether it's at at the job or in the community, at the church. No, I'll do it. No, I'll do it, because we were taught, no, when you go, you show up and you
Mm-hmm.
show them what you can do. You work harder, right? And so with that, it's like we have set the bar so high, or it has been set for us so high, right?
Mm-hmm.
By necessity. And I know that's why they did it. It was necessary to tell us. And we then intend and tell our children, no, you have to walk in the door, because you're not going to be given a pass when you walk in. Even though the credentials are on the paper, even though the degrees are on the wall, you still have to walk in and prove yourself that
Absolutely.
still deserve that seat at the table. But it has become so unrealistic. And at times, it's just like you said, you have to learn to give yourself grace and permission. I just said this
Yes.
to a young lady at church yesterday. And I said, what you need to do is give yourself grace, because it's not possible to remember to check everything off the box, check every box on the list. It's let me say it again. It is impossible, stay at home mom, to
Yeah.
check that list you made at the top of the day. This is, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do
Well,
that. Go
can
ahead
I
and
say
say it.
something? I think for me, I know she's up here. But I think for me, my mom was a very strong person,
Mm-hmm.
and my
Mm-hmm.
mom, I try to follow in my mom's footsteps. You know what I mean? My mom,
Yeah.
even though my mom, she was married, but they got divorced. But even after my mom, seeing her from marriage to divorce, how she handled 3 kids
Mm-hmm.
and went to school,
Mm-hmm.
got her degree,
Mm-hmm.
and she never lacked of anything. She was a strong woman. Like She still makes her schedule to this day. Like, I'm doing this. This is what I gotta do, and I tackle it. And then sometimes I be feeling bad because she be like, "Oh, I did all this today. I did this with 3 kids, and you talk about you talk about you tired, or you
Yes.
talk
Oh,
about you
I get that sermon all the time. I don't understand what your problem is.
and you talk about you
And
this, and
she only got one. I'm like,
See, now,
and she talk
please.
about, but my mom,
now.
just watching her and seeing her growing up, and even now, like, my mom is like my best friend. We talk every day,
Yeah.
but just seeing her and how she was so strong, I want to be that. So I be trying to do
Yes.
everything on my own and not realizing, like, not to downplay my father, but my mother didn't have that help me as she would want it. But
Hmm.
like, I try to do everything on my own, to the fact that, even being a stay-at-home mom, my husband be like, you don't have to do everything on your own. You can ask me. But I feel like, because I've seen my mother be this strong person, I'm telling you, my mom she might be short, but she is a strong person. My mother is a strong person, and I love her down. So, like, I really try to follow in her footsteps when it comes to taking care of her grandkids, because she did a good job of taking care of us. So I try to make sure her grandkids is taken care of well.
Right. Right. But again, that's a pressure you've put on yourself.
Yeah, I
Right.
was about to say, because I
Yes.
tell my
But
daughter that is unnecessary, because
Yeah.
I
yeah.
want you to
Yeah.
succeed what I do and not follow. I just laid the groundwork.
Right.
I want you to build on the foundation.
Yeah.
Right.
And y'all raising kids in a different society in which we
Yes.
raised
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Right now, Black women are handling depression with grace, and we shouldn't be
Hmm.
walking through depression with grace.
No.
We should be
Yeah.
able to
No.
rest our minds, bodies, and souls.
That's true.
Right.
And we
Right.
cannot. But this current administration, being a melanated woman, is more stressful than it was when I had kids in the 90s.
Yeah. It
We didn't
is.
have to. I don't. Now I worry about the future of my young Black daughters. Not I didn't worry about it in the 90s when I was having kids. I have a
That's what my
12-year
mom
old, and I
said.
worry about, is she gonna have to be in the back of the bus again? Is she gonna have to be in the colored only restrooms? Is she gonna have to can't drink from the white only fountains? Am I, excuse my French, gonna be wearing an orange jumpsuit because I didn't have to hurt somebody about my baby? And when
Right.
I was when y'all was growing up, y'all could play till the street lights came on. Y'all was okay being outside. Still y'all was still in
Not in
that
these
generation,
Brooklyn streets. I don't know where you grew up, but not in these
California, and it was
Brooklyn
still
streets.
okay. It was
Mm-mm.
still okay.
We
But
we
we
had
were
we
still in
had
that.
we had we had crack out here. No, 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 no. You
We
can't.
did
You
too, but they was respectable back then.
can't.
They
They
was
were
respectable.
respectable crackheads. That was
Yes,
They
yes,
worked on
yes, yes,
cars and mowed yards.
yes, 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 yes. But I hear what you're saying, because I think, Todd, especially because all my children, they're in their 30s, except that oldest one. She up there. Um, but with them, I think the biggest fear was, girl, don't get pregnant in high school. Do yourself a favor.
Yes,
You
yes,
understand?
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Don't,
yes,
with the boy, watch the
Yeah.
games, girls
yes,
watch the
yes,
games. You don't have
yes,
to be like everybody else. Those were your biggest fears, right? And
yes.
now, like you said, it's the regression of
The
everything.
regression,
How they're
yes.
trying to not even just push us back, but erase us
Tennessee
totally.
has made the legal marrying age 14.
Oh, Jesus. Mm.
Do you understand
Oh
me?
my
My
God.
baby is 12. Please let a man approach her talking about she look good. I promise you my bishop in South Central gonna have to have bail money. I promise you.
I'm
And I
chipping in. Don't worry
absolutely
about
mean
it.
that
I'm chipping
with my
in.
whole heart and soul. I
Yeah.
do. Because
Yeah.
Tennessee we're in a red state.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
see, when I grew up in Oakland, California, where my parents they were part of the Black Panther movement. So my
Mm-hmm.
mentality is different. I didn't grow up in the South. No discredit to anyone who did. I knew what my melanated skin meant. And I
Yes.
knew who I am. And I instilled that into my daughters. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
looking at the down at the ground and hollering, don't call me gal. That's not the way my children were raised. And
100%.
I instilled that into my daughter. So the regression is gonna be met with resistance over
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The regression is going to be met with resistance over here, because in this and I say this all the time, like, the girls here, these young women here who, you're forcing them to have babies, you're forcing them to marry young, you trying to keep them in the house, you stopping programs like childcare. 80% of the women here are in nursing programs, single mothers, and they rely on childcare. If
Yeah,
I can't get nobody to keep my baby, how can I continue my education?
right. But I think that's the point. Is that not the
Correct.
point?
That is
But, and
absolutely the
we
point.
were we chatted a bit before we came on, and you don't want me to be educated,
You
but you
don't.
don't want
But
me
you don't want to give
in
me
the
childcare.
system,
Yeah, yeah.
right? You don't want me on food stamps. You don't want to give me housing assistance. So you want me to live in public housing with the
But you
rats
don't
and
need.
the roaches back like it was in good times and Mr.
But see,
Bookman and all of
but
them.
see, but
You
jokes
know what
on
I'm
you, because
saying?
DEI wasn't just for the melanated woman; it was for the woman in general. So now, because you voted against us, woman who not melanated, you feeling the effects too. It's affecting your house, single mother who is not African American, because it took away women's in Tennessee. It's women, period.
Well, what they didn't realize, Todd, that white women were the biggest recipients of DEI.
These rural
We were
counties,
still behind, right?
these
We were
rural
still
counties.
earning less.
Hmm.
We were more educated, earning
Correct.
less.
Correct.
And like you said, if your name is Tyliesha or Shantavia,
Your resume
you
going to
know,
the bottom of the pile.
right?
It's going in
Back
the
in the
trash.
day, I was the only Sabrina that I knew, but now I'm walking down the street. It's a whole lot of scam boogers out there named Sabrina. So
Nah,
now they
Let
la
me
got to
tell you.
stop and
Ty and
pause.
Tavia.
I hate, I tell people all the time when I say, I named my daughters and for a reason that when somebody seen their resume, they couldn't tell they was an African American woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
hated to
Mm-hmm.
have to do it that way, but I did.
It's on purpose.
It's on Haley. You don't think she's an African American woman?
No,
Leah, you're not gonna think she's Jada. You're not gonna
Mhm,
think they're
mhm,
African
mhm.
American
you have
women.
to think.
Because I
Yeah.
want you have to give
Hmm.
your children a
Mhm.
fighting. I've always been in a mode that I got to give my daughters a fighting chance.
Yes, you have to.
As a mother, my job is to protect them at all cost,
Mm-hmm.
with my last breath.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always wanted to give my daughters a fighting chance because from the day you born, you already come with one strike. You melanated.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Strike two, you a woman.
That's it. All right,
You a
because we can
woman.
stay there all night. Let me. You know, I need my
You a
girl. My
woman.
girl who her podcast is called what she call it, espressos or something.
Hmm.
Coffee and mimosas. Some mornings you need coffee, other mornings you like, no, I need a drink. That coffee and mimosas. I got to get that shirt. Um, all right, let's talk about it. Okay, let's move on a little bit. Um, okay, this is a good one. So this is for both of you, and Ty, you can take the lead on this one. What do you understand about each other that people wouldn't expect? So your lived experience, what do you understand about Shantavia that people wouldn't expect you to understand, being that you've been doing this journey alone?
I was a young stay-at-home mother once too. I stayed at home for 2 years. I understand what it's like to stay at home and have to raise these kids and not go outside and have adult conversation. I was
Mm-hmm.
going crazy in the house with
Yeah.
the kids. I love my babies, but I wanted to see more than Nickelodeon and Disney Channel. I, I wanted to see more than Dinosaur Train and PBS. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
have a real adult conversation, you
Yeah.
know? I waited for my mother to call every day so I can have some type of interaction.
Right.
So I get that. I understand exactly where she is coming from when she say she want to talk to somebody else besides the kids. She don't, Cheerios stuck to your shirt and sloppy fingerprints on your clothes from little
Mm-mm.
monsters. I understand. That
Listen.
was a gentle age. I'm glad I'm past it. God bless
Ooh,
you.
that was the longest summer of my life when I had to stay. I was like, oh God, what happened?
I
Oh.
commend and applaud stay at home mothers. I
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
absolutely 100% give y'all flowers because it is
100.
easier for me to get up and go to work
Mm-hmm.
in the morning
Mm-hmm.
than it is to stay in the house all day because you're there all day except for grocery store runs, pickups and drop-offs, doctor's appointments,
Laundry. Oh.
Oh
laundry,
Lord, we forgot the laundry. Oh
At least
Lord.
I get to get out 8 hours a day and interact with other adults. You
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
do. Even if she's trying to get some time for herself, you got fingers under the bathroom door. You got
Oh, oh,
you got fingers under the bathroom door.
If
You
they
can't use the
don't open
bathroom
it
by yourself.
outright with their little rude
they done
selves, kids
figured
are
out.
just
My
rude.
my son done figured out how to open them bathroom doors. Okay,
Oh,
sometimes, but he'll know when I'm about to go in the bathroom because sometimes he'll hide in my shower.
He's smart. He's smart. That's a new one.
he
Yeah,
needs
that's
to be
he
bringing
good.
home a check.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
absolutely. My guy
Kenzo
got
Oh,
is
he got a purpose and a
Kenzo.
destiny. He got
Kenzo is different. I tell people all the time. My second one is different. My family
it's
know.
always the second
My
one.
family know. He
It's,
different. He
all
different.
right,
yeah.
Tay, I'm gonna ask you the same question. What about Tyliesha's experience that you understand that people wouldn't expect?
I understand that being a single mother is not easy, and
Hmm.
I will say that because um, you know, you talk about how people look at you and think that you got it because you was able to go out and your kids, your kids didn't look like your kids look good. They went
Yeah.
out there, they didn't look like any and anything. You made sure that they looked good, but they expected and thought that you was getting a check from your baby father or whatever have you. But people always want to think they know things, but they don't know.
Yes.
And I applaud you on being single mother as well, because being a single mother ain't easy. You know, I watch my sister is one, and she does a really great job with my nephew, a really great job, and she,
Hmm.
just like she doesn't get help from the father at all either.
Yeah.
However,
Mm-hmm.
but you would never see my nephew has never lacked.
Yeah.
And the fact that just hearing your story, it just reminded me so much of my sister. And she was able to be moved, go forward and higher, and she got help. She's a counselor, you know
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Hmm.
listening to your story, that really touched me, because it just reminded me
Thank
a
you.
little bit of my sister. So yes, I commend you on being a single mother, because it's not easy. Just like
Oh no.
being a stay-at-home mom and being a single mother is not easy as well, because just like I can't get breaks as often, you probably couldn't get breaks as often, because you
Never.
probably didn't have right. You probably didn't
Never.
have many people to take the kids, or
Well, me being in Tennessee where I have no family.
Hmm.
see, there you go.
Hmm.
So I moved to a place where I had my family's 3,000 miles away. So my village is in California. So when I became a single mother here in Tennessee, it literally was just me and my daughters.
Wow.
Hmm.
I couldn't
Wow.
call my mama and say, come pick up the girls, or call my sister and say, come give me a break. There was no break. I literally would pull in this driveway and sit in my car just so I can get a moments of peace, not because I didn't want to see my babies, because I had to decompress from the
Decompress.
day, and I didn't want to take the emotions from the outside and bring them on the inside on my children.
Right.
I
Right.
didn't want to spew the day on my kids. So I had to give myself a moment. And that's what I think a lot of people say, oh, you make it look easy, baby. Let me tell you something. There was a many times I lay prostrate on this floor
Hmm. You have
crying
to.
out, because it was like, it ain't nobody but me and you, God. It's just me,
Hmm.
my parents, don't get me wrong, my mother, my father, my sisters, people, they would call and encourage and motivate, my mentor, my sisters, who are single friends. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, and I have an asthmatic child, them late night runs to the
Wow.
emergency room, my baby's sick for 2 weeks at a time, and I'm worried about, am I going to lose my only means of income to provide for us, because now she in a hospital, and how we going to make it? Those are the things that, as single mothers, we don't really talk about, especially you have a sickly child. If you have
Yeah.
a, and my baby, she has a nebulizer. She's an asthmatic for real. Leah, pneumonia every year for the first 6 years of her life.
Mm.
For the first six
Mm.
years of her life. And then, you have those moments, a father, I tell people all the time, a father is impactful, they're important, they are needed.
Say that.
So I also had to figure out how to raise women who are not bitter.
Right. Right.
That's good.
That's good.
That's
And
Yeah.
good.
I came from an environment where my parents separated, but they were still friends.
Hmm.
So my mother
Mm.
never talked down on my father. So I always keep a positive aspect and a positive view of their father. I never say anything, and I would never would, because I tell women all the time, you laid down with him and had a baby, it had to be something good about him. No
Mm.
disrespect to nobody. No disrespect to nobody, no shade, no tea. But it
Right.
had to be something about little buddy because y'all procreated. So take those memories when you talking to your child.
That's
Mm-hmm.
good. That's good.
Take those memories because I don't want to raise bitter women who because I'm not raising my daughters to be baby mamas and girlfriends. I'm raising them to be wives. So when you go into your relationship, my prayer was God, let them always, whoever they become connected to, let it be their lifelong partner.
Right.
I don't want
Right.
my grandchildren to come from broken homes like
Mm-hmm.
we did. I want that to
Mhm.
stop with us.
Mm-hmm.
So as a
Right.
single
Mm-hmm.
mother, I will say this, as a single mother, I had to heal.
Okay.
I had to heal and I had to get me together so I can raise better
I
people.
better.
So you wouldn't infect them with whatever was.
Come on
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Come on here.
That's good. And I can agree with that because when my ex-husband and I separated, I followed my mother's philosophy. She never talked down about my father.
Mm-hmm.
Never, 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 never.
Nope.
The only thing she ever said, don't believe anything until you physically have it.
Yep.
That's it. Because, he had good intentions. But my father, in this mental health era that we live in,
Mm-hmm.
um, there was a lot of stuff going on there. And then you look at it, I mean, he was born, shucks, my mother was born, that man was born in the 30s
Oh, he was
in
born
Texas.
when my granny was born.
You know what I'm saying? And as a black male child in that era, and then going into this US of A
Mm.
armed services, and what was that
Mm.
experience like, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then coming out, and as we know, there's nothing for veterans when they come out. Um,
Mm.
Yes.
so
Yes.
you have, now we understand a lot more because we're better informed.
Yeah.
But I adopted her um her example because my relationship with their father was my relationship,
Correct. Correct.
because
That
I
was
already
that's
know
between
he gonna
you and
mess
him.
up.
That was
I already
between
know
you
he
and
gonna
him.
mess up.
Yep.
I don't have to say it
You have
because
to
you're
let
gonna
him.
get older and you're gonna see it for
You're
yourself.
gonna see it for yourself.
And one by one, they saw it for themselves. And like, Mom, you know what?
Yep.
Yeah,
But
that's what I would
I
say.
say that for my daughters too. But I also because my daddy was very a present person in my life,
Hmm.
and my grandfathers were too. You say your father, your grandfather, or your father was a veteran. My grandfather was an immigrant and a veteran.
Mm,
He came
mm,
over from Jamaica, so to be an immigrant and then be in the military was different. He
yeah.
fought in World War II, and I had positive male role models,
Hmm.
so I watched my mother give my father grace.
Yeah.
Even though he was not right all the time, I watched her give him grace.
Yeah.
And so even in this present day with my youngest three, now my oldest three have amazing father. We're friends, been friends since we was 14. We just couldn't be married. But my
Hmm.
youngest three, I tell them all the time, no, really we couldn't. I tell them all the time, just continue to pray for him. And if he ever comes back and if you decide you want a relationship, I have no ill will about that.
Right.
None at
Right.
all. Because
Right.
that's still your daddy. You because Maury say he 99.99999% your daddy.
No, you didn't bring up Nori.
He 99.
You
You
are
got
the
all
father. Where my
you
envelope?
you got all the DNA from Buddy.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
I try to encourage that all the time. I don't want them to be in any way angered.
All right. So let me pivot it to this because the time is. We started a little late because someone scheduled
It's
the
all right.
live wrong.
It's all right. We learning.
we Yeah, we
We
should know better
learning.
though. We do this enough. We should know better. But um, so we're talking about we're here. We're today in this. I don't even
Mm.
because I want to say it right. I don't want to say it the way Sabrina would say it, so I have to say it for out of deference for who may be watching. Um, in this highly charged
Mm.
political climate.
Mm-hmm.
What is, I won't use the word fear, but what is your biggest concern, greatest concern for your children moving forward? Um, I'll start. Your kids are a little older. Ty, I'm gonna let Shantavia answer that one. I'll let her go first.
What's my, well, not my fear, but what is my biggest concern about
Your
my
greatest
kids?
concern right now, yeah, and the way we're going in this country, right? The way we're moving.
Uh, hmm, my biggest concern for my children, the way we're going now, especially with our president that we have
Mm-hmm.
now. My concern is history repeating itself when we're going backwards. My concern is, my children might have to deal with uh, the blacks and whites being separated, or, you know, dealing with, you know, having, not having, can't have, being segregated, dealing with the things that they had to deal with back then, where our Dr. Martin Luther King, made a way for us to, all come together. But I feel like the way things are going now, I feel like history repeats itself, right? And so I feel like, that's my concern for my children. And I try to, teach them every day, we all equal, we all the same, you know. But I that's my fear. My fear is going backwards. And my children happen to see that. And it's so funny because where was we? I was at a show on Saturday, and my daughter, one of the scenes in the show, they was talking about segregation, and they were dancing, and they were like, the scenes were, one, the white policemen were handcuffing the black people, and then she saw like the white people pushing the black kids, and she's like, well, mommy, why are they doing that? That's so mean. And then she saw, like, the different water fountains, and they made it very clear. And she saw all of that, and she was like, well, mommy, why is that happening? I said, well, this is what happened back in the day, before I was born, before you were born. And I was telling her, this was segregation, this is what, people went through. And she was like, well, that's mean, why would they do that? She was like, ain't we all the same? I said, we're all the same now. But back then, that's what it was. And just having that conversation with her and talking to her about that, it really, like, got to me, because that's my fear. That's my concern, of her having to see that in reality.
Yeah.
Seeing it in a play or seeing it on a show or something, but seeing it in reality, that's just my fear. My concern. I won't say my fear, my concern. I don't want her to have to deal with that or go through that. So I will say that.
Tyliesha.
My concern is that, my daughters will get to, their success will not be celebrated. They won't be able to achieve it because they've been put back in a place where you want them to just be in a kitchen or cleaning
That too.
somebody's floor. And they have bachelor's and master's degrees, and all they can do is work in a factory, that they will have to suffer oppression in the worst forms,
Yes.
and not the hand of just society, but of a man, because now he has the mental state that your body, my choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm.
And
Mm.
so that
Mm.
that that she's going to have to go back to asking for an allowance to buy a dress like they did in the 40s and the 50s, and her
Yeah.
money will no longer be hers, that she won't be able to have a bank account or credit or buy land or purchase a home of her own free will, that her freedom will be taken away because women's
Yes.
rights are being stripped. I mean, I understand the fears for women raising black men in this society, but my greatest fear is for my child to be oppressed by somebody's crazy son.
Yeah. Yeah.
No disrespect to the men, but for some man to take that wholeheartedly, and my child to fall in love, and somebody uses her heart against her.
Mm-hmm.
because that is not something I can rescue her from.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we're going in a society to where divorce is about to become illegal, you know, and that is why the marriage rate has dropped. When Tennessee start passing laws, women here start divorcing in rapid rates,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. And so, as a mother of all women, I'm afraid that my daughter's body is not no longer in her control.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
That she goes to the doctor for a checkup and her rights are being violated because you sharing her records.
Mm.
Her menstrual cycle is being tracked on these apps, and when she can get pregnant and when she can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her privacy is violated as a woman.
Yeah.
You are telling her now she is not worth anything. Society. And that is my fear that, we're going to get to a point where even as women who are still in our careers and our positions, you're trying to push us all the way back.
All the way back, trying to go
I
backwards.
pray that men stand up. That is my thing. And I pray that men stand up in our community. Where are the Malcolms? Where are the Martins? Where are the Hueys? Where are the Marcuses?
Yeah.
Where are the Marcus Garveys? Where are they? So we have a voice as women, but our men make us stronger. They we
Mm-hmm.
need to stand together. And for me too, I pray that we don't have to see that. I pray that God, that we are heard. Our cry is heard, and this is a temporary situation. I hope it's a wake up call for us. That's all it is.
As it
I hope.
should be. Yeah.
But
Because no, no,
that
no,
is
no.
that is
Finish.
my
Go ahead.
my concern is that my daughters have degrees and they're well educated and they're successful, and my 19-year-old lives on her own. She's in her own place, has her own job, own car, still in college, but and works in the mental health field. And I have a fear that all of her accomplishments will be null and void because you're making degrees like nursing degrees, not real degrees.
Yeah. Non-professional. Not considered
Non-professional.
professional degree.
Physician's assistants, was she going to school to be a PA?
Mm-hmm.
You making that non-professional. And as African American women, like you said, we have to fight 200 times as harder to be in a position to
Mhm.
stand in a
Right.
place with somebody else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, I will say this: our children are not as strong as we are, so mentally I pray that they can handle that.
Yeah. 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 That right there. Mm-hmm.
Because see, I don't have a problem. I tell people all the time, I don't have a problem going to get two $15 an hour jobs to make up for my income, but I don't know if my daughter is built like that.
Right. Right. Because we were coming out of that, right? You don't
Correct.
have to work three jobs because you're going to school. You're going to be educated, and by the
You're
time you
gonna be
finish, you'll
and
be
we
in a,
push
you'll be
that.
earning six
And
figures, boo. Do it.
we push that
Right.
education,
Right.
education,
Right.
education. And now you're attacking the thing
Because we're
that
more educated than they are.
correct,
And
correct.
here's the biggest thing. I wish well, hopefully well, she's coming. But one of the experts for the show is Dr. Mack. She's an educator.
Mhm.
Okay.
And as an educator, I love saying this because I can do it really good. She's an educator who teaches educators how to educate in culturally diverse classrooms. Oh my God, I can say that
Mm,
all day long.
okay.
And with her, I remember I sat down with her years ago, and it was for Juneteenth, and she said her point of view is the worst thing that happened to us as a people was integration.
Mm.
Mm.
She said because in our own schools we were taught by people who look like us. In
So we're
our
more
own
concerned about our
neighborhood, we
educations,
had
yes.
merchants that looked like us, right? And the
Mm.
black dollar stayed in the black community
I, you
for a
know,
very long time
when I was in
before it
high
went out.
school, when I was in high school, we had the option to take American history or African American history.
Mm-hmm.
A lot those are not options that are provided in some schools. I learned about who I was. I didn't want to take
Right.
American history. I don't want to care about no Christopher Columbus and the
Mm-mm.
Nina Pinta and the Santa Maria.
Being American anyway. Let's just start there.
But I also say my grandma say charity begins at home.
Right. Right.
So when I was a little girl, I was watching Shaka Zulu and I learned about Nat Turner and
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Garvey
Mm-hmm.
and Huey P.
Mm-hmm.
Newton and all of
Mm-hmm.
these great Angela
Mm-hmm.
Davis and
Mm-hmm.
Madam CJ Walker and all of these people. We have to teach. I know that they say integration was great, but we have to teach our babies too. I feel like a lot of
Who
us
we
are
are,
not we are not educating our children at home
right?
because we still a lot of us are too busy trying to keep up on with the Joneses on the other side.
Come on.
We
Yeah.
not having our own Black History moments in our households
Mm-hmm.
because we wanna be blonde. We want to
Not
be
with the
blue eye.
blue eyes. No, no,
Look,
no.
we want to be blonde. I mean, just saying, it's
Yeah.
a choice. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
got
We
you.
we're getting away from that. It used to be a time where Big Mom and them used to sit us down and tell us who we was.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew our
Mm-hmm.
lineage and we knew what our people came from.
Yeah.
Half of these kids don't even know if their grandparents were sharecroppers or what a sharecropper was.
Well, and especially now, because they're attempting to strip it from the history books, right? Tavia, your mother's on, and I know she and I are around the same age. We learned about slavery for real, because Roots came on TV, and it was a
Hey,
miniseries. You
that's
know what
my
I'm
show.
saying? Come on.
I was born the
So
last night of the very last episode.
you were born the last night of the last episode.
Episode of Roots, January 31st, 1977.
My goodness gracious! Well, you just showed
You
my
just,
age.
you just.
So, so anyway, now that she's made me,
Hey,
put
you
me on
seasoned. It's all
blast to
right.
all of
It's all
America.
right.
But seriously, that's where we got the real truth about
Mm,
how this journey for people who look like us began.
mm, see, and I hate that for us because people think that's where we began, and that's not where we began. We were kings and queens in Africa, and that's what
Right,
I tell my daughters.
right.
We this is not right here on this American soil is not
Mm-mm.
where we began.
Nope.
This is not we invented dyes and materials and mathematics and we built pyramids. Come on now, we are a gifted people.
Right,
And
right,
that's what we not instilling into our babies.
right. Well, it depends on the school that they go to, because especially here in New York, there are a lot of great, and I'll
Y'all
say
got good
it,
schools. Y'all got good schools.
yeah, where this is a part of the curriculum. So, and it'll never be whitewashed here ever. All right, y'all, that was good. I have time for one question. If anyone has a question, throw it in the chat. Tay, I just want you to know your mother and your sister, they're on YouTube, so they're.
Are they on YouTube or are they on Facebook?
I think, well, your mother's on YouTube. I see her.
Oh,
And
mommy's on. Oh yeah,
all
mommy's on
she's saying
YouTube. I
is
see
that's
her.
right. She
Yeah,
said
she said
thank you for
that's
the
right.
compliment earlier. She said you're doing a great job. She gave you some love.
Oh, my sister's on YouTube too.
Oh, I can see her. I just can't see the Facebook people until they actually text. I see Nashville. Nashville is all up in here.
I love my people because my people love me.
So but I just want to say this. And the biggest fight, well, the biggest weapon that we have, and history has shown this to us, is our vote, right? And that's
Yeah.
why they're working so hard to prevent that from happening. And the t-shirt I have on tonight says, we can't stop, our ancestors are watching, right?
Yes.
So it's right now, it's primary time in New York City, and it's imperative, and we just have to say it everywhere we go, to everyone. They said it at church yesterday, because one of the members, she's a part of the community board in one of the neighborhoods, actually the neighborhood the church is in, and she said to everybody in your house to vote, and if they don't want to vote, tell them they got to get out your house.
Get out your house.
Everybody else, not everybody else.
Hey.
And that's the other thing. And I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna go because it's almost 9:30. But as I told you, Tavia, time goes by fast. You don't even realize how long you've been on.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You can go
yeah,
deep.
it's always
I'm
good.
on right now.
But the thing about it is, the other thing I noticed is that my generation, and like Tavia, yours, because you're a millennial, like my children, I don't care when you was born. You still you use an X factor, right? Or you ain't no old millennial. Use an X, Tyliesha, right? Use a young X.
I'm a Gen X. Yeah, I'm Gen X. That's the best. That's the best
Yeah.
one right
All right.
there.
So we all in it together.
We Gen Xing.
Let's get that straight. We is right. So, but we pass on the voting privilege
Yeah.
to our children. And I can't tell you how many people, oh, I don't vote. What? So if you don't vote, that means the 18-year-old, the 19-year-old, and the 22-year-old in your house
Not
Ain't
voting.
voting.
because they're following you.
Right.
Mine
You
So
set
vote.
the,
don't none of that matter. I have to tell one, ooh, Jesus.
you set the standard.
There it is, mother. You
And
set the
that
standard.
same person, they going after your Section 8 now, boo. What about that vote?
You know,
You know, they don't think
what I'm saying?
about
education.
that.
Education
about
is
that.
key. Education is key.
100%.
Education is key because a lot of the times that people don't know the laws, they don't know how to fix them. They just feel like it's not going to be beneficial to me. My voice does not matter, but your voice 100% matter. But it also you teach your children because everybody over 18 in my house votes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in my
Mm-hmm.
house, my daughters still vote because they know the
Mm-hmm.
importance of exercising your rights. But not only
Right.
just for the presidency, vote for your local government, your
Everybody.
judges, your superintendents, your city councilmen. It
Well, we
starts
see
on the
what the
local
judge
level.
did out in Texas to Carmelo Anthony. That boy got 35 years.
When I tell you,
35 years.
I know a single mother in Texas who was pregnant and had to let her fetus die in her womb before they would touch her because of the laws that changed in
Yes.
Texas.
Yeah.
And do
With
you
the
know what that
abortion
does to
laws.
a
Yep.
woman's mental to
Yeah.
have to suffer
Oh,
something like that?
100%. 100%.
You would never catch me in the state of Texas.
I don't even want to visit.
I drove through there and got a ticket. I was going so fast.
You said you want Sandra Bland me over here. I'm out. I'm sorry. No sundown.
Because I'm very
for
much
me.
a Malcolm X in my spirit. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to take me out.
100%.
So, but you as a single mother, as a mother in the house, our job as a mother with a husband, we got to educate our children. We got to educate our babies
100%.
because they not gonna do it, and they don't care to.
Well, no, and
They don't care to. They don't want them consciously aware. They don't want them to know who they are because when a person know who they are, the power that they hold, they cannot be stopped no matter what you do to them.
And that's the issue, and that's the concern because my favorite line in Spike Lee's depiction of Malcolm X
Ooh, that's my movie.
is when Malcolm is at the police station to check on
yes
to check on the dude that they had
locked up because he was
and the nation, the brothers
it's
from the
lined
nation
up.
are all lined up.
He
And
said
the
one
fear,
man should not have that much power.
that's it. One man should not have that much power. And this where we are at this moment, that's the mentality. Oh, I have to say this because in church yesterday, the sermon was about being aligned. Right? And of course, she was, the pastor was talking about being aligned spiritually, but we also have to be aligned culturally.
Come on here.
If we're aligned culturally, because that same alignment got us the voting right in the first place. That same alignment got us the first Black president of the United States. That's still held in high esteem.
Still my president.
Still, and so it's mentally and physically aligning as a people once again, because I honestly, they will not succeed because the other thing, the other quote we're saying, we're not our ancestors. Do not think you gonna roll up in here like you did in 1960 and get away.
That Alabama chair situation. You seen that Alabama chair situation?
Yes.
I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let that be that.
Okay. We are not our ancestors in that regard.
Yeah.
but we do need to resurrect and invoke the spirit of our ancestors
Yes.
who by any means, you
Necessary.
know, we knew, like you told the baby, we're all equal, only in our eyes, not in
Not
theirs.
in their eyes. Yep. Yeah.
Again, a 17-year-old who's 19 now was just sentenced to 35 years because
35
he was bullied.
years.
Because he was bullied. And then when they get into the details of his height and the height of the twin brothers, there's no way he was a threat to you.
And as a mother, can you imagine as a mother,
No, no,
your baby being sentenced to 35 years for this?
no.
Let me tell y'all something. I come, and that's another thing. Black women raising black sons, I pray for y'all all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, I know y'all telling y'all sons just make it home, just get home. You
Yep,
got to you got to prep your babies on how to handle the
yep,
police.
yep, yep, yep. And like I said, her in-laws, Shantavia's, and they raised 5 boys who are now men, great men, right? But to have the talk with your 8-year-old son to start preparing him
Hmm.
for, because it's not if he gets stopped by the police, it's
It's
when.
When?
when.
And of course, it's happened on several occasions
Yeah.
that my son has been stopped. He's been put in handcuffs. Of course, he waited many years later to tell me about it. Oh, yeah, I would, what? He said, that's
They
why
do.
I didn't
Hey, they
call
do
you
women. They do women.
then.
They do.
He
They
was
do
like,
us
nah, I
women the
know
same
you. I
way.
know you, shorty. I know you because you would have went. Yes, because you're the one, you're not out here causing nobody no trouble.
These police be different. No disrespect to the
No
boys in
matter
blue,
what state you're
but
in, you
yeah.
know. And we have family members that are in law enforcement, but they're not the people that the kids are running into. You're not running into your cousin out in the street,
Right.
No.
right? So, but anyway, ladies, thank you so much. This has been fun. Thank you everyone that's been watching. Before you go, I got a little announcements to make. North Carolina's in out here. We already know Nashville is all up in and through here. Uh, they have been very supportive, and we know Brooklyn and Queens is in the house. You know
Brooklyn and
they go
Queens. My
Brooklyn and
sister's in
Queens. They
here.
gonna do what they gonna do. I have a couple of things. The shirt that I'm wearing tonight is. Let me see how this is gonna show up. Let me see if I put it up. Yep. The shirt that I'm wearing tonight is I've developed a merch line.
I need
It
that
took
Okay.
a
woman to
minute for
woman
me to
podcast
do it.
shirt.
Yeah, see. And so we were trying to get everything together. So you see a couple of the shirts that I'm wearing. So one of the things that's on the site, celebrating Juneteenth all day, every day. Okay,
Mm.
we gotta let that be known because see the 19th is gonna pass and they're gonna look at us sideways. I wear my Black History shirts all year long. So anyway,
You got
so
that I survived on purpose shirt?
the I
I need
Survived
that.
on Purpose shirt is up there.
Okay.
Ignore that butterfly because you know Shantavia AI do what they want to do. But the I Survived on Purpose shirt is up there. The Woman to Woman shirt is up there. There's even a matching hat for the Woman to Woman. So that's up
Okay.
there. So I put it up on the screen. It's available on Printify. So if you go to Be Free, that's the letter B, the word free dash entertainment. I had to do the whole name because Be Free was already taken for my pop-up store. So Be Free dash entertainment dot printify dot me.
Okay. Saints gonna buy it out.
It's up there, and we're working on all the other stuff. I left all this other stuff up there because I'm like, okay, well, I need that thermal, and I need all the things. So the store is up and running. So we have the Juneteenth stuff up. We have the woman to woman stuff up. So I have the other one that I really like is Vote Like Your Life Depends on It. That's
Oh
really for
yeah.
Vote Like Your Life Depends on It because it does. So for that, I just want to say, please go on and
Look at
order.
that cutie.
Look at he finally got on camera. And
Hello.
his dad runs the media at the church. So, but see, he's always behind the scenes. He ain't never up front. And he leaves during children's church presentation time. He don't have time for
They
no
Hi.
of that.
heard you. They heard you. They heard
All
you.
right. And the other thing I always do, thank y'all so much for joining me. If you would like to, give a donation to help keep supporting the show, the information is on the screen. Cash App, $ be free 217. That's $ the letter B, the word free 217. And we also accept Venmo, and that's the @ be free dash 217. See, I'll be uniform with my stuff. Be uniform
Look
with my
at
stuff.
you. Come on now here.
Yes. So, and we appreciate it. It helps us upgrade. I was able to upgrade some of the equipment because people donated. So it helped me do certain things. And there's other things that we're working on to, bring the best quality product. Shantavia, I really enjoyed you. She drove me crazy, y'all. About, oh, I'm so nervous. Oh, girl, it's not that deep. Get your life together. It is just not that deep. We're gonna have a
Do
good
that,
time, and you
baby.
did an
Do that,
amazing job.
baby.
Thank you. Thank
She
you for
did.
joining
You
me.
did. You did a really good job.
And you
Thank
held
you.
it down per usual until Dad came home to get the children. She said, "Okay, I made a mistake. I forgot to tell
Yes.
hubby that I was doing this tonight, so he could help me with the kids. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Kids are a part of the journey." I said it makes
Yeah.
it more real life. It is what it
Telling you.
is, right?
She said, have the kids on there and be authentic because you stay home.
That's what happens. They
You are stay
interrupt
at
you.
home. Yes.
They
Yes.
interrupt you at the craziest times. Sometimes it's cute, sometimes it's not. Tyliesha, thank you so much. All the way from bluegrass country as a, what you say, implant, what you call?
Transplant. We're called
Transplant. You heard me,
transplants.
implant. Transplant.
You gonna get it right one day.
Oh, transplant by way of Oakland,
Yes, my
California,
city. My
straight
city.
hood. She
Hey,
wear that
hey,
Oakland
hey, I'm
banner high.
refined now. I'm refined now.
Oh wait, we refined too. We from the sky. We understand Bed-Stuy, dude. We understand. We is refined hoodlums. We hood and
I
old.
cannot with you today.
So
It's a
that's
pleasure. It was a pleasure being on here and allowing us to speak to the nature of mothers.
yes.
Yes, it was a
And
pleasure.
you are indeed, we are indeed the backbone of freedom. We are the backbone of this society. We are the backbone of our communities. And, we're just here to encourage each other. And I honestly feel the more you share your story, the more it encourages someone else.
Absolutely.
Or you hear something that gives you a little lift. And honoring the fathers, Brad, thank you so much for sharing your wife this evening. Happy pre-Father's Day. Happy
Yes,
Father's
to
Day
all
to
the
your
fathers
dad, to
watching.
all the phenomenal
Yes,
dads who are
happy Father's Day
watching,
to all the dads out
all
there.
the dads. We'll share this with you. So happy Juneteenth, everyone. Happy Father's Day. Mother's Day is every day, all day. Juneteenth is every day, all day. Black history is every day, all. We are all the things.
365.
We are all the things at all times. And again, ladies, thank you so much. We went technically only 15 minutes longer than we should have, but that's
Okay.
because we started a little late. But thank y'all. Thank you, Nashville. Thank you, North Carolina. My cousins are always on, and usually it's one that be in the chat, but 5 of them be sitting there watching. Thank y'all so much for being supporters of, this mission and this purpose that I have to just, get together with my sisters, have a conversation, and hopefully change some things. So thank you all. It's a pleasure. It was a pleasure sitting down with you. Y'all listen, y'all give Tyliesha some coffee because as soon as we finish,
Oh
she
yeah, as
going
soon as
back
I
to
log off
work.
here, I gotta go to work.
She going back. She going back
I
on
gotta
the
log back in on
plantation,
the
y'all. She
job.
going back on
Yes.
the
Hey, let
plantation.
me tell you something. God has blessed me, and I'm gonna make sure this income stay rolling. I gotta do what I gotta
Come
do to
on, we
feed
got
it.
to keep
I
it
got one
rolling,
going
boy.
off to college next year, so another one and another one.
You
Thank
And
you.
going
another
on the
one. And
plantation?
another one. Come on,
You
Kid
going
Callie.
on
And
to the
another one.
plantation, and I'm going to do some baths because the kids need to take a bath. They gotta go to bed.
All right.
Tired. They
And
already
life
tired.
keeps life. And love you both. And I'll
Thank
see
you,
you
ma'am.
soon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Woman to Woman. Until next time. Hopefully, I'll be back with you next week. I'm working on it. All right, guys. See you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. Real women, real issues, real conversations. Real women, real issues, real conversations.